Ari and Bini are moving to America, and Bini is terrified.
So I'm scared. I am very nervous. It's very stressful for me.
What's causing all this stress and anxiety? Well, it turns out tough guy Bini is a bit of a coward. With just one day left until he leaves Ethiopia forever, he's yet to tell his sisters, the sisters who raised him when his parents died.
Tonight is our last night in Ethiopia, and Bini has only just started telling his friends and family that he's leaving. Bini is a serial conflict avoider. I honestly feel really bad for Bini's family.
I'm not really sure how they're gonna react, but for him to just come and tell them overnight, like, yo, I'm leaving tomorrow.
Not good. Not good at all, yeah.
And as you can imagine, when his sisters are upset and emotions get heated, Ari, who his sisters have never liked, but in all fairness to her, is not the one responsible for this mess, well, she gets blamed for it. Now, we'll get to all of that drama in a second, but there's been a big development since the last time we saw Bini and Ari on our screens. Not only has Bini been granted his K1 visa, but Ari is actually there with him in Ethiopia. As you might recall, the last time we saw them on our screens, Ari was convinced that Bini had cheated on her, and as a result, she promised she'd never go back to Ethiopia.
After everything you have done, I will never go back to Ethiopia. You are surrounded by evil. God knows who you and God knows what you've been doing, and I don't even care and I don't even want to know.
But after reconciling in Kenya, she reveals that she's changed her mind because of her love for Bini, but it comes with some strict conditions. They've had to move out of their family home.
We are living in a hotel, but I decided to fly to Ethiopia because I love this stupid jerk and I wanted to be there to support you.
Now, while we never got to the bottom of whether or not those cheating accusations were actually true, it seems like Ari still has some question marks about their relationship.
Me and you have just gone off the worst, 9 months or year, whatever that ever. It was extremely painful for me. Although Bini and I love each other very much, we still have major problems to communicate effectively with each other. And when Bini moves to the US, I don't think 90 days is enough to work out all of the issues that Bini and I have.
And aside from the communication and the relationship issues, there's also another problem. A problem entirely of Bini's own making. You see, with just 3 days left until they leave, Bini still hasn't told his friends or family.
I'm so worried for telling for my family, I don't tell still now.
Why would you wait?
Because I don't want to make him stress for everybody.
Now, that's a strange response, don't you think? He doesn't want to cause stress for anyone. By not telling his friends and family, that's more stressful for everyone. And it leads me to suspect that this might not be the entire truth. I think there's more to it than this. What might the real reason be? Well, one of the reasons is definitely his son.
But are you really ready to be married to me?
Listen, if I'm not marrying you, why am I going with you?
Because of Avi.
Of course, because of Avi, of course, yeah.
Bingo, that right there, Avi, his son, is his primary motivation. It becomes more and more clear as the episode goes on that his decision to leave Ethiopia, and the reason he's not telling people about it, is because it's a decision driven by fear. The fear of potentially losing his son if he doesn't leave. Keep in mind, this exact scenario has played out once before, when Bini's ex-wife took his firstborn son back to America, and he hasn't seen that son for many years. Now, when Bini finally musters up the courage to go and tell his friends that, oh, by the way, I'm leaving in 3 days, his friends know him well enough to immediately ask the right questions.
So የመጀመሪያው ያው ወደ አሜሪካ ልሄድ ነው። ያ በዚህ በ3 ቀን ውስጥ አሜሪካ ልሄድ ነው
ማለት በ3 ቀን ውስጥ የምትሄድበት ምክንያት ምንድነው ሞቲቬት ያደረገው እዛ ለመሄድ? Is it for Ari or Avi?
Avi is my ምንድነው የእግዚአብሔር ስጦታዬ ነው ማለት ከእግዚአብሔር የተቀበልኩት ስጦታ ነው። ካጠገቤ እንዲለይም አልፈልግም እንዲርቅም አልፈልግም ያው
Even if I don't love her, I'll go. I think you'll agree that's an interesting response. And there's more evidence to support that theory when Bini confesses,
Arish is going. If I'm not going, my baby is going. If I want to be with my son, I don't have choice. Otherwise, I think I will lose my family again.
Now, he does go on to say that he does have feelings for Ari, but it's not exactly the most convincing declaration of love.
ከሷ ጋር ባልዋደድም እንኳን እሄዳለሁ ግን አሁን እስካሁን ድረስ እንዋደዳለን ጥሩ ነገር አለን.
And get this, there's one other thing that his friend says, almost in passing, that I also think is very significant.
Bini going to the US, I can't really digest it, you know? I hear him and Ariela argue sometimes. He comes to me, he tells me some kind of things. So from the third person view, like, that's not the best relationship I ever seen in my life.
Okay, did you catch that? He says Bini comes to him and tells him things about Ariela, right? So is Bini one of these people that every time he gets in an argument with his partner goes and complains about the partner to his friends and family? Because if he is, and it sounds like he might be, well, maybe that goes some way to explaining why Ari's relationship with Bini's sisters is so fraught. I mean, if Bini keeps on running to his friends and family each time they have an argument, then it's understandable why they might have a negative opinion and not want him to go to America.
That's why still no I don't tell my family this. No. I didn't tell my family because I don't want they tell me, oh, don't go. They pressure me.
Now, while that might give us an insight into why he hasn't told his family yet, it doesn't make it okay. Everyone can see that this is not the right way to handle it. By delaying the inevitable, he's only making matters worse for himself. And in all honesty, the way he plans to break the news to his sisters is pathetic. First, he's going to invite them to the launch party of his new song, Dancey Dancey, which, if I'm not mistaken, he's been working on for at least 2, maybe 3 seasons now. But anyway, once the music video is played and everyone's happy, that's when he's then going to break the news.
Okay.
They're so happy, and then I will tell them just.
So, fast forward to the next evening, and bear in mind this is his last night in Ethiopia before they leave the next day. Ari and Bini get to the launch venue a little early, and then in walks Bini's sisters, and check the cold shoulder they give Ari.
You good?
Hi.
Oh. When done with that?
ተቀመጡ ምናምን ቁጭ
I mean, that's more than just COVID, come on. She didn't even look her in the eye, she didn't even say hello to her. And then it gets worse. This feels like a very personal insult, don't you think?
Don't touch us because of COVID.
Yeah, she don't want to touch you.
When all the friends and family finally come into the venue, the music video is played. Everyone seems to be having a good time. Ari and Bini start grinding each other, and the champagne is popped to celebrate in style. But now, he can't delay it anymore. Now's the time for Bini to break the news to his sisters.
I want to say something like for especially my family.
Yeah, those are the faces of 2 sisters that already don't look impressed. And that's before they hear the news. Bini's plan definitely doesn't seem to be working.
Biniyam, visa አግኝቻለሁ የአሜሪካ ቪዛ እና ነገ ልበር እያሰብኩ ነው to move there.
Understandably surprised and annoyed, his sister asks, how can you only tell us one night before? And check out Biniyam's answer. This just confirms what we were talking about before. He's not sure about the strength of his relationship, and he's happy to share those negative sentiments with all of his closest friends and family.
ታዲያ እንዴት ነገ ልትበር ዛሬ ትነግረናለህ ቢኒ?
I know አልነገርኳችሁም ምክንያቱም እኔም እርግጠኛ ስላልሆንኩ ነው ከሷ ጋርም የነበረው ነገር.
Now, he does try and reassure everyone that the relationship is now back on track, but by that point, the damage is already done. He's already planted the seeds of doubt in everyone's minds.
ያው አሁን ነገሮች እንደበፊቱ አይደሉም ነገሮች እየተስተካከሉ ነው ያሉት ስለዚህ
ማለት በቃ ህይወት ገሃነም ነው ደስተኛ አይደለህም ቤቢ አታስመስል ሁሉ ጊዜ.
And rather unfairly, as protective sisters, they're keen to point the finger of blame, not at their brother, but rather at the evil Ari. But again, it seems like their opinion of her has been swayed by what Bini has told them.
This is her fault. Like she always manipulates him, you know? She always control him. She's control freak. And he always come and tell us like he's not happy. So we're really scared that what's gonna happen to Biniyam. I don't trust her.
Wish then drags Ari into proceedings. She says it's unfair that Bini and Ari knew about the visa but didn't tell them. And Ari is left to defend herself. She in fact tries to encourage Bini to, as she says, tell the truth, but the tough martial artist Bini, for all his muscles, has no backbone. And his silence speaks volumes.
No, him not telling you guys has nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with me at all. You can tell the truth that I never said anything to you about it, and I would never tell him not to tell his family. That would be so up on so many levels. I would never do that.
Sorry, there's just no getting away from it. Those are the actions of a coward. He's happy to throw his fiancée under the bus, even though it's not her fault. And when Wish uses the argument, but we're family, you should have told us, Ari says, hold on a minute, we're family now when it suits you? You've never treated me like family.
The fact that they blame me for his decision, it's ridiculous.
But if you think you are family, you should tell us. We treat you like a sister, but like
you don't treat me like a sister. You guys are really, if that's how you treat your sister, I want nothing to do with it.
And again, I've got to stress, Bini's there, responsible for the whole argument, yet not prepared to say a word. He's okay for his sister and fiancé to go at it, because it deflects attention from just how badly, how stupidly he's acted. And it's only a matter of time before tensions escalate.
I'm not going to see you guys anymore, and you know what? I'm not going to marry you guys. I'm marrying Biniyam. Oh my God, I've never gotten alcohol through case before. That's a new experience.
Credit where credit's due. In all fairness to Ari, she deals with that remarkably calmly. And when the camera crew catches up with the sisters outside, they've got some choice words to say about Ari and Bini's relationship.
She don't respect us. She don't respect him. And I think she's psycho. They only have 90 days. I hope they're gonna make it.
Will they?
No. 0%.
No.
Meanwhile, Bini, who still hasn't said anything, is left with his head in his hands. What are your thoughts on all of this? Let's continue the conversation down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, you might also like some of the other videos that are on screen now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.